Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, the program that is focused for the foreseeable future on talking about things in the church that shouldn't be in the church. We still have some more talking along that line to do, but we will get on the other side. And the good news is, in case you were wondering, my head didn't explode. We had enough duct tape and we have some on hand just in case we need it. And there we go. Folks, sometimes it just feels really good to just kind of take the pressure off and know that you don't have to hit it out of the park. It's okay if you just introduce the subject and try to get people at least thinking along the realistic lines that you, dear one, in the minds of many, in the big stream evangelical complex, mega media, mafia camp, you're just a number. You are a giving unit. You are a demographic to be decoded, figured out, analyzed, so somebody can learn how to pitch you to get yo money. And we're going to get right into the subject matter today, but just in case everybody was on pins and needles, how did it go last night at Crumbling Rock Church when Darlene Bishop made her return to and graced the stage at Crumbling Rock Church? I've got a visual answer for you, and here you go. Here's how it went. Pardon me. There you go. There was at least 4 people there at Crumbling Rock Church last night. Darlene wasn't one of them, but of course she was there in spirit. So evidently the glorious return to stagedom and pulpitdom, maybe that's been postponed a little bit. But if I were them, what I would say is, oh, she's going to be here on Sunday, and then have the script writers start working on, oh, she'll be here on Sunday night. But anyway, that's the deal. There were at least 4 people at Crumbling Rock Church last night. Well, 5, because somebody took the picture. So I just wanted to let you know that happened. That happened. I want to get into some video proof like right away tonight. That's what I want to do. And so I'm going to do it this way. If you are a Parsley, if you've become connected to the Parsley ministry, like every other big evangelical complex media ministry, they want your data. They want your name. They want your email address, definitely, mailing address. Then you're really hitting a home run, and a phone number. Because, oh yes, the use of the outbound call, because we just want to pray for you. By the way, if you'd like to sow a seed, we just want to pray and see if you have, and by the way, we want you to sow a seed. Oh, that still goes on. Pardon me, that absolutely still goes on. So if you are on Rod Parsley's email address list, you will get an email at least every month. And I just threw this together very quickly. It'll look something kind of like this. And so that's what your email will look like. And then you can click on it.
It is no wonder at all that they call grace amazing. It's sent from heaven. It's life transforming. Every person's search for the truth.
So I just kind of fast forwarded. So there'll be like about a 5-minute
challenged me to go before our young congregation and ask them to honor God giving his very best, his son, the Lord Jesus Christ, as a sinless sacrifice.
And then
today, at the address right there on your screen, Post Office Box 100, Columbus, Ohio.
Revelation from God. Others sow one day's increase. Everyone sows their best seed to honor God.
Okay, so that's kind of, I wanted to give you the quickie lightning version. And so that's what will happen. You will have this email, and in the body of the email, there will be a YouTube video, and it'll be Rod Parsley giving a pitch. He'll be in a good, and he'll use all the Rod, and I'm going to get shallow for a minute, folks, and I'm serious. This is a guy that pays somebody pennies on the dollar every single service to do his hair and to do his makeup. And he wears like thousands of dollars worth of clothes and then throws them away. At least in the old days, you could never have something that you would ever wear again, all these different watches. So here's a guy that used to be on a lot of television, is barely on television now. But this is a guy that really likes to think of himself as a media person. And I will admit this is shallow. Rodney, how come you ain't never done nothing with your teeth? I just don't understand that. Now, I'm going to call you Rod Parsley, worst teeth in media. Rod, worst teeth in Christian media. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that. I lived through the 2000s and beyond, where like if you were an anchor or an anchorette on TV, is like you had to get like the, what do you call those, the veneers or whatever. I mean, just like, whoa, back up. These things are kind of white, kind of bright. But Parsley hadn't done that. And so, okay, if that's shallow, it's just an observation. It's just it's a curiosism to me. But getting back to the email, so there will be like the pitch, the unscriptural pitch of resurrection seed. What a joke, what a hoax. And then there'll be a double blessing this and a cross anointing that, and look to the left, look to the right, put your right hand in, put your left hand out, and then shake your anointing all about kind of thing. And then he himself will move into the pitch. And then they'll either have a female voice or a professional voiceover male that will say, so your very best seed of, they'll do all this stuff. But here's something that I learned just today. So this piece of video that I'm going to show, and this just kind of opens the floodgates of getting us to understand what we're really dealing with. So Parsley we're going to show you some spreadsheets, and we are barely scratching the very tip of the iceberg, okay? But I'm introducing the subject. So they'll analyze and figure and analyze and scheme and scream and all this, how they're going to put these pitches together. But I'm going to play this piece of video, and what you're going to see, I think I went through really, really quickly and grabbed 3 different email campaigns. And so when you see the video, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see the top of the email when you open it up, and it'll show you what the campaign pitch is, double grace or, something else really, really spiritual. And then I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to do that 3 times for each one. And what you will see is they've got a different visual pitch amount for the nobodies, the little bitty hope they give something donors. And then they've got a different one for the mid-level donors. And then there will be a different one for the big and high-level donors. And we may stop and start this. So look, let's do stop and start this. That's why I did it this way. So this is the double grace, double favor, double blessing. And you'll just notice that look, that's the same video is in each one. So let's let this progress. I'm scrolling down to the bottom. So then these are the cheap seats, y'all. It starts off at $25 or more. You can click on 50 or more. You can click on 125 or more. My best love gift. Always leave the door open for if somebody gets carried away and, I got my tax return, or I just hit the lotto. I did a scratch off and I got an extra 500. They want to, that's there. But then we're going to let this play. And I think we're going to let it play. Yeah, it's playing. Okay, so this is the same one. It's still on the same double grace, double favor, double oh, looky there. We're pitching a little higher on this one. These guys getting their little bit different email. They're starting off at $1.25, $2.25 or more, $1,025 or more. My best love. Always leave that door open. They might have come into a windfall. You might have caught them at just the right moment. They may do bigger than what they planned on doing. But wait a minute, we're not done. This campaign still got a lot of life in it, and we're now reaching into the top end of the campaign. Look at this. There it is, double grace, double favor. And then looky here. It starts off at $250. So see, this poor soul at one time contributed a $250 or larger amount to Parsley. He's going to pitch them a little bit different. You know why? There's one reason that he's pitching them different than the guy that he would pitch starting off at $25. There's one reason, and it's very, very simple. It's because he's so sincere. He's sincere. That's his legacy. Sincere Rod. Right, it's sincere. Wait a minute. Now you say, oh, they did that once. They would never do that again. Well, actually, they would. So let's let this play. All right, that's your double grace, double favor. We already did that one, but I'm gonna let it play. There's the maybe I got this clip in there twice. Come on, play. Come on, play. What did I do? I don't think I restarted it. Maybe I didn't proof this video, but hang on in. So there's the 125. Are these all double graces, double favors? There's the 250. Oh, come on. Oh, there's a resurrection season. Ooh, looky here. Wait. Oh, resurrection. Now they're kind of up in the ante because this is a special hoax revelation that he's been pitching for a long, long time. Notice this starts at 50 or 100, and then you get all these prizes. You get the wonky diddle at $50, and you get the wonky diddle plus the whoppy doo at 100. And for $250 or more, you get the wonky doodle, the whoppy doo, and help me, Jesus, and the oozy koozy. I don't know what you get, but just wait a minute now. Just wait. It's the same pitch. Wait a minute. Now, this one's done a little different. 1 week's increase. Oh, what do you make in a week? That'd be bigger than a whoppy doodle or a gitchy goozy. It's got a 1 day's increase. My best resurrection seed, they're leaving the door. Ooh, $1,000 or more. That's a whumpa sinka tikinka. That's okay. So they're pitching that guy a little different. Poor soul thinks he's getting special love treatment from Parsley, who's building his legacy. Here's the third round on this one. I mean, this is wait. Let's back us up here. Okay, so it's 1 week's increase. Oh, wait a minute. He's going for the big guns now. This guy here, then it moves from the wonka weka to the 1,000 or more, the whoppadoodle, to the gargantuamanda, 2,000 or more. This is what they do. You know why? I'm tired. I'm tired all week. Phones ringing, people up late at night, up early, all this. But this is what they think of you. Oh, we're going to show you more. But you get the drift. You're a number. You're not a person. You're not a soul. You're not real. You are a giving unit. That's what you is. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll fit into the big. Let's keep going. I might have one more campaign on here. That was Resurrection Seed. Oh, yeah. Okay, that was it. I thought I put 3 different ones in there. Folks, I've got the material. I could have put, I think I got 5 of those. How'd you get them? Ain't gonna tell you. Ain't gonna tell you, but we got them. We got Rodney. You lying scoundrel dog, you. This has been working for you all these years. You thought nobody would catch on to you. We done caught on, pal. You're a liar, Rodney. You're a liar and you're a cheat. You're a cheat and a liar, and you need to get your teeth fixed. You can afford it, Doc. Speaking of affording it, and folks, my slides are out of order. Oh, I just want to say this. So there was at least 5 people at Crumbling Rock last night, and I just want to. This picture right here, kind of like it, like helped wake me out of a doldrum, because I believe I mean, I never followed Parsley, never liked him, never agreed with him on almost everything. But I did think one thing. I knew that had been a large church at one time. I thought that was just a really obnoxious, loud, charging church. And even when when I saw back in June of 2024, and he's leaning over, screaming into the face of the people on the front row, I actually thought there was a lot of people there. And then I was brand new to all this. I'm going through the video, and just for a split second, the video had this scene. So what I had to do was get it just right in the software and grab this as a screenshot from the video. Then I had to take the BMP file and put it into the visual software and lighten it up. And then I started counting the actual people that you could see in that sanctuary that at one time sat 5,200 people. And folks, I'm just telling you, like, I was, what? Because this is a crowd if you average it out and go further, and I've got other shots of that, but this whole thing, the cameraman probably got fired for this shot right there because he let the cat out of the bag. There's probably about 200 people there. And this was June of 2024. Now, let me say, I met with a wonderful friend and house pastor today that was driving through Ohio, and he pastors a home church in Indiana. And it's a home church. I don't know how many people attend the home church, but I don't think it's 200. I don't think you can pack 200 people in a home church. I would way more be comfortable in a home church where people know each other and they pray together and they're, a family, they're a community. What you just saw there, then people don't know each other. Okay. So I'm not talking about the validity of a ministry being based on size or anything like that. But here's the thing. What Parsley is desperately clinging to. I mean, I'm really tempted to leave the mic on, go in the other room and find a toilet and hit the flush button on it, because that'd be the best audio representation of what's going on there that I could probably do. But see, they want to create the illusion that they're this big, strong, happy family happening church. And folks, it is not. They absolutely are not. So anyway, there's that. Now, this slide here, you ain't gonna be able to see, but I wanted to show you that we got it. So this is mailing results summary in the year 2024. All right, for all of these different campaigns, and that it's a little blurry and the type is just way too small. So what I did is I cropped the left side and the right side and put it together, and I got rid of the stuff in the middle. So some of it's kind of scrunched on top of the other. It's kind of an unintentional scrunch, or getting tax returns. And this one went pretty good. The average gift was $111, total revenue $70,000, $23,000 in expenses. I mean, that's clearing almost 50 grand. And so there you see, that's how it rolls in Parsley land. But can I just point one thing out, Rodney? If you did that good on the first fruits one, dude, you can't afford to get your teeth fixed. Okay, so please do that. I can fix you up with a good couple of guys that could help you out with that. So anyway, there's that. We did that. And then, we needed some good news. So somebody sent me a day. Remember Ray Boltz? Thank you for giving to the Lord. That Ray Boltz. Well, Ray got married. Ray got married. Former GMA Dove Award winner holds beachside wedding with homosexual partner. Couple of big old boys. But anyway, there you go. There you go. That's just talking about things in the church. Shouldn't be in the church, but at least they weren't in the church. They were out on the beach. Okay. It was, anyway. Okay. Okay. So this. All right. Okay. Now, I'm just going to, folks, I got to get through this, and I'm just scratching the surface, polishing off the very tip of the iceberg. You're a giving unit. You're not a person to them. This is all fake. This is all phony. I talked to a fellow today that worked with this guy for a long time, and he's honestly, I'm being very serious now, not even 100% convinced that Parsley knows Jesus, is even saved. But this man is he's a cult leader. We showed that a couple of months ago when he had Wendell Hutchins get up and lead all his cult inductees like Alan DiDio and Hank Kuhneman, who wasn't there, but he was there by proxy, Jonathan Miller, Tony Suarez, Medina Pullings, all these people swearing an oath to Rod Parsley to get his anointing and believing to get a double a portion of the anointing of. It's a cult. It's absolutely a cult. And that's not being, I'm not using hyperbole. It's just that Parsley is a cult leader. Okay. So anyway, we're going to keep going. So I'm doing this kind of in reverse order. You're looking at a most recent emailer from Parsley, Day of Atonement. Now, the Day of Atonement hoax, that's my slide putting that in there. Parsley doesn't put hoax in his email. But in this email that he just sent out just a couple of days ago, the Holy Spirit directed me to teach you intensely during this year's atonement season of tabernacles. From sundown on Monday, he's using Paula White's language. Paula's going to get mad. September 23rd, 2025, the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Now, I'm not even going to go into the book of Galatians. When somebody's trying to push the law, the Old Testament law on Christians, and saying by observing the law, you're going to get blessings that you wouldn't if you didn't observe the law, that is witchcraft. It's witchcraft, and Paul said it's another gospel, and let him that does that be accursed. So just keep that in mind. But now this, let me explain what you're looking at, and don't forget that this email that just went out is talking about the Day of Atonement. Okay, so you can't read that; that's too small. I don't think you can. You'd have to have really good eyes. So we're going to go through a couple of slides that look like this. So Parsley, and there's many clients of this company. They are called BBS out of Akron, Ohio. And they are the money-changing consultants for a big swath of the evangelical industrial Christian mafia complex. And they are, I'm going to show you just a couple of slides. I took a ton of them, but we'd be here all night. And they pitch themselves as the experts, the greats at looking at your donor base and looking at your little bitty donors and your kind of okay donors and your mid-level donors and your potential to be super donors. They're good at that. And they're good at teaching you how to get those people back on the hook that ain't sent you nothing in 3 years and all of these things. And they know how to do it with direct mail. They know how to, they pitch you that they can do it with direct mail, that with your email campaigns and digital web ads to grab people. I find it disgusting. So every month, and this is what happens in Parsley-dom, exactly how this company interacts with their other clients, it may vary a little bit. But the president will come in, Dale Berkey is his name. I'll show you a picture of him in a moment. And they will spend all day going through data, picking out prizes, people that give so much. Should we give them the wonky donk this time, or should we give them the whippy do? Well, we gave the whippy do 5 years ago. So maybe if we could take the label off the wonky donk and put it on the whippy do, and add it with a woozy wooz, that'd be kind of cool. That's literally how that goes. But so when they have these meetings, Megan Hassett, who, congratulations, Megan, on the Ozempic thing. I understand that worked for you, and I hope it keeps working. And Megan is the lovely young gal that sent me the nice stay off the property because you weren't authorized to go there letter, and I really appreciated it. I was a little insulted because when the Faith Life people sent me the same kind of letter, it was on the really nice paper. Megan, I felt like you were kind of cheap, but I digress. So Megan will type up these minutes of these like 12-hour-long meetings so that they can be reviewed and considered. So that's what you're looking at right here. This is Megan Hassett's typed up minutes from the August 2019 BBS meeting, as they're looking forward to the glorious things that can happen in the fall, including Day of Atonement and all the Jewish holidays. So this is the top half of it. And folks, this is going to get boring. I'm not mad if you fall asleep, but we're just going to read it together. August 29 marketing meeting notes, phone call. Oh, it was a phone call. Dale didn't come in person. Dale noted he wants to increase the perceived value of the tapestry and other products in the Atonement #1 mailing. So the trinkety planks that they send, you give $25, you get this, you send 50, you get this plus that. Dale wants to increase the perceived value. All the stuff that you buy from Chisreel, he wants to increase the value. Wayne noted that the Atonement 1 insert is possibly being overprinted for Atonement 2 and asked if we could overprint it. Dale noted to overprint Atonement 1 insert for Atonement 2 as long as we can get the update copy he's provided into it. Jay noted, okay, so I won't read the entire thing, but this is highlighted. And thank you, Robin Torgrimson. Oh, and by the way, train of thought escape here. Robin Torgerson will be with us on Thursday of next week, and we are really going to dive into tonight. We're just giving you a little heads up. And tomorrow night, I will be joined by John Collins of Leaving the Message. And did you know that the Branham Tabernacle, God's General William Branham, that his tabernacle actually sits on two pieces of property at the same time? One group's on one piece of property, which has half the building on it, and the other, it's crazy. And by the way, the 7 prophecies that William Branham gave that he buried in this vault underneath the tabernacle, they don't exist. They never did. You'll learn all of that. And Saturday night, there will be an emergency broadcast with Susan Puzio regarding the Moonies, and I'll probably say something else about that. Megan asked if we have concern with 3 white men on the broadcast. Mark noted that he does not have that concern on Word, and that Muncie does well. So Muncie does well there. So they were going to work with this guy named Muncie, but Megan is like, oh, is it going to work if there's 3 guys that are white on stage? See, because it's not about, you and literally there's so many stories that like, you can't sing because we got too many white people, or you can't sing because we have too many black people. Because people are not people, they are units. You're just a number. At Rod Parsley's World Harvest Church, Dale noted, this is the president of VBS, we need to know if Reagan agrees with Pastor, I just want to cringe, concerning Christ's return in the tabernacles season. I think Parsley has this thing that he's like, throws it out there that it's like 99% positive that Jesus will return during the Feast of Tabernacles. And they throw it out there. You want to get your offering in before the Feast of Tabernacles, because if you don't, Jesus might come back in this year's Feast of Tabernacles, and then it'll be too late to sow a seed and get 1,000,000-fold return so you can live your best life now before Jesus comes back, because he'll already be back. I don't know, something crazy like that. But let's just keep on. Dale noted, we need to know, okay, we already said that. Jay asked what we should be doing for high donor department. Wow. I wanted to look at this. This is not highlighted. In the middle, Wayne noted he provided Brian with the list of new leads for his caseload, similar to the criteria that was provided to Cal Switzer for his Tier 2 group. I did want to say this. This is about the 4th, 5th paragraph. Dale brought up Wayne's question asking, now guys, I'll have to explain this to some of the outsiders here, asking if we want to mail CHN Salesforce names in donor mail. Now, what does that mean? Rod Parsley's cult it's called the City Harvest Network. I'm not sure if everybody in City Harvest Network is a cult member, but the leadership is, because they have sworn the oath to Rod Parsley. But people think, oh, I'm going to have a covering, or I'm going to have fellowship, or I'm going to have a, like ministerial, accountability. So they join Rod Parsley's CHN network. And so their information, what that means is their information goes into Salesforce, which is a CRM, which is a donor database management system. And Dale brought up, should we put those guys that just joined the CHN, should we put them in the marketing database so that we can try to squeeze some more money out of them? And so we'll just leave that there. I'm just going through these slides. Now, what are you looking at here, ladies and gentlemen? First of all, the resolution's bad because I just grabbed it very quickly off of Google. But you're looking at, these can look a couple of different ways, but yet they all look the same. You're looking at a magazine fundraiser price chart. And I'll try to go through this quickly. I worked for Reader's Digest for 5 years in school fundraising. And at that time, QSP, which was the division of Reader's Digest that did that, they were the largest in school fundraising in the United States. And I think they're bankrupt now. But anyway, with QSP, their main thing was magazine sales, but they also did World's Finest Chocolate sales and other kind of chocolate, but World's Finest Chocolate, that was their baby. And then they did gift wrapped and trinkety plinket, like gift catalog kind of sales. And real quick, I just want to explain this. The rep's job, once he got the account, was to sit down with either the moms that were going to run the sale or the principal or all of them together. And you're always trying to grow your sale. And I'll use just generic numbers because you had schools of different sizes. But say you had a school that did a total of $10,000 last year and made $4,000 profit, magazines. So this year we want to get $5,000 profit. So how do you do that? You take a portion of what you're going to take in and you spend it on the prizes that motivate the children to get out there and sell. And so much time as a Reader's Digest rep would be on the phone talking, being flown different parts of the country, because at least once a year you'd go to the big prize convention for Reader's Digest that would fill all of a great big huge salon at a really nice hotel, motel, whatever. And it'd be like a convention, and you'd have all these guys with their stuff from China, and you would have like stuffed animals, but you got a stuffed animal this big, a stuffed animal that big, a stuffed animal that big. And the whole thing is that you were paying, if you bought this garbage at retail, okay, it costs so much, but you're buying it wholesale because Reader's Digest would put all these different nationwide group of reps together, and you're buying it at wholesale. So when you're in the school in front of the kid and you're holding up the light up keychain with a battery life of about 30 minutes, and you're holding it up and it looks really cool, the kid is seeing something that's like, oh man, that would cost $10 to buy that. Yeah, but it cost you $0.25. Okay. And then so you'd have your prizes that cost the rep like 25 cents, but then the prizes that would cost like $1, and then it would be huge. And so let me go back to this prize chart, which is very blurry. I get it, but it all works the same way. So you're always taking a portion of what the gross is and spending maybe 5% of that gross on prizes, but you're very careful with how you administer those trinkety plinkets and light up keychains and stuffed animals and so forth. And why am I saying all that? That's what these guys do. That is exactly what they do. They get trinkety plinkets, Bible trinkety plinkets from Chisreel. What is Chisreel? Chisreel is stuff that comes from China, and they don't always put an Israeli label on it, but they try to. Maybe in shipping, it hits an Israeli warehouse and sits in the warehouse and gets shipped out. But folks, that's how it works. Oh, a plastic cup from the Holy Land. Yeah, Jesus drank from a lot of plastic cups. Have your communion with a Chisreel plastic cup. So anyway, that's kind of really roughly how it works. I'm just going to keep reading some of these notes. Wayne, action item, to pull how many people have to be made whole that are on active fill. Dale noted, listen to this, Dale noted, this is the president of BBS, that we don't need a heavy focus on salvation for prayer cloth campaign. It'll be part of it though. So they would still allow somebody to make a commitment to Christ during prayer cloth campaign, but it won't be a heavy focus. Now, these are the prayer cloth products. No money prayer cloth. No money, you get a prayer cloth. You get, and it'll say from China on the box, maybe even on the prayer cloth. It's a little scrap of fabric. If you don't send them any money, you'll get something. Nobody prayed over it. It's not anointed. It's a Chisreel product. BLG, DVD, or 2 CDs from Pastor. Yeah, everybody listens to CDs these days. $50, you get the red letter Jesus storybook of Jesus miracles. See what they're doing? It's just like the kid. You sell 1 magazine, you get the light up keychain. But if you sell 5 magazines, you get the light up keychain plus the red letter Santa Claus or the Harry Potter book. That's exactly what you're looking at, folks. You're looking at, I've got right over there, I've got a toy airplane that was, I don't know how much these folks gave to Parsley to buy that jet that he sold when that kid was beaten at his church. But that's exactly what it is. It is a prize. It is a prize. $100, you get the new Speak the Word, not official name. $1,000, woo, woo, woo. You get 2 high quality Be Made Whole. Oh, you get 2 books. So you get 2 of what you were already going to get, signed with your personal name by pastor. Forgive me, I don't want to be here all night, folks. I literally like get sick to my stomach. Signed by pastor. First of all, pastor is not a first name. And Rod Parsley ain't no pastor, never has been a pastor. But I've talked to guys that have been out of the cult, and they still say, well, pastor would say he wasn't a pastor. By the way, don't let me forget, I do have a Vicki Yohey update, but I digress. So this one here, Megan noted, we invited McDowell because he has notable miracles. See, they're talking about the prayer cloth thing coming up. I think they do that in November. They're talking about this prayer cloth hoax thing that they do, where they put up the big fake display and all of that. But I will say this. They will invite in some preachers and ministers that are probably sincere and are maybe just thinking that they're, spreading the gospel. I don't know anything about these 2 ministers that we're going to refer to in just a moment, but I'm going to show you what the Parsleyites think of them by showing you this slide. Megan noted, we invited McDowell because he has notable miracles for his ministry, and we might be able to pull on, Megan, work on your English a little bit, but you're in a hurry. We might be able to pull on that, but Vonnie Lopez doesn't have any from her ministry. Can I read that again? Yes, I can. Thank you. Megan noted, we invited McDowell because he has notable miracles for his ministry, and we might be able to pull on that, but Vonnie Lopez doesn't have any from her ministry. Well, Megan, that was so incredibly spiritually in tune from you. So I didn't know what the name McDowell meant. I Googled it up. Plus I called Robin and a couple of people, got it figured out pretty quick. There's a gentleman that pastors, I think, a very successful church in Florida, and his name is William McDowell. And you do a little research, and the story is that he's experienced like a miraculous healing, and that it's medically verified. Now, the only problem is I did see that he was a guest on Sid Roth's show, but I digress from that. But so this is a guy that out there in the entertainment world of Rod Parsley, when he's scouring for talent that he can suck the lifeblood out of, this is a guy that maybe has some draw because people associate his name with miracles, with the miraculous. All right. So let's go back and read this again. Megan, who recently lost 100 or 200 pounds with Ozempic, good for you, Megan. Megan noted, we invited McDowell because he has notable miracles for his ministry, and we might be able to pull on that. What does that mean, Megan? You might be able to put cheaper prizes in your prize program and still get your offering sale to be as big as you wanted it to be, or just get a bigger response. But Vonnie Lopez doesn't have any from her ministry. Hey, Megan, I got a question, Sweet Cheeks. Sweet cheeks means these kind of cheeks, by the way, folks. How many miracles are coming out of your life, girlfriend? How many miracles? So I just kind of like going in and out, just going in and out, taking slides on, putting it back. Okay. But when you read this is really how it hit me. This is literally like Massa sending his representative or going with his bursar to the slave market. And Massa is too busy to spend too much time hanging around, but he does the pre-sale tour and he says, I like that big one over there. He got them big biceps. Now you bid high on that one if you need to. Now you go cheap as you can, but you bid high on that one. He got them big biceps. I know right where I'm going to use him. You see that woman over there? Yeah, that girl right there. Yeah, she got them childbearing hips. Now you do what you tell. We need a good. That's what this reminds me of. This is disgusting. I'm really, really relaxed, and I'm glad because this is disgusting. And you know what? This poor fella, McDowell, he doesn't know that they're talking this way about him. He does not know that they're talking this way about him. Who's this guy? This is Peter Popoff. A lot of people. Does anybody remember Peter Popoff? Does anybody remember Peter Popoff? Peter Popoff is. I don't even know if this guy's alive, but back in the 80s, he got. He made national headlines because he was calling people out for healing at his healing crusades, and would call them up and tell them what was wrong with them and tell them stuff like that. And he was using a hearing device in his ear. I'm going to take like 2 minutes and tell my own personal Peter Popoff story as a brand new Christian. And I had just started a job, and I had like an extra $100, which was a really big deal to me in my life at that time. And I wanted to give that to some kind of missionary something. It was very early in the morning. I was near Lima, Ohio, and Peter Popoff came on the radio, and he's talking about putting gospel tracts and these big balloons, flying them into Russia. It sounds crazy, but like, so these Russians would see this balloon, they'd get these gospel tracts and they'd read the gospel. And I had been wanting to do something different and special with this $100. And I heard Peter Popoff say over the radio, I feel God's dealing with somebody to give $100. Oh, I got so excited. I wrote down the address. I sent in my $100. I was really excited. This is a true story. Then I started getting mailers. This is the early 80s. And they would have this personalized fake computer writing on them. And it would say things like, Everett, I've been praying for you, and I believe that your breakthrough is right on the, and then it would be tied to an offering pitch. Well, I never did anything with that, but these letters, I wasn't sure where in my heart, where in my mind to put them. And then one of them had a story that they were doing another big balloon print and balloon ship or whatever, and their printing press broke down. There was a roller in the printing press that just broke down in the middle of this big print run. And I'll never forget, in the letter, it said that the print master said to Peter Popoff, I hope you have a big God, Reverend, because the new roller is going to cost $286.33. And then the next line was, Brother Everett, could God be speaking to you about giving a seed of $288.36? And I remembered that letter very distinctly. I put it up in a drawer where I had a big collection of these. This was a long time ago. And you know what? About 2 months later, I got the exact same letter. They made a mistake. They sent the same fake offering pitch to me. And boy, I was out of jail mentally and spiritually. I never gave them anything besides that first thing. Dude, Rod, this is who you are right here, pal. This is who you are. With your miracle spring water, your miracle Smith Wigglesworth anointed Bible oil water. This is who you are. Now, what are we looking at here? This, I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is a breakdown of every one of the direct mail, different ways I try to get money out of their resurrection seed. But I did want to show you this. This is from, I think, 2020. And you see, if at the top there, it says total salaries and wages. Now, I had to clip this off of a big spreadsheet or you wouldn't be able to see it. And Robin shared this on her program 2 nights ago. And again, she's going to join us on Thursday of next week. But these are the ways that people get paid. And I'm going to ask you to let your eyes glance down to the lowest entry that you see. Just above it, it'll say 135 Elkhart. That's their Elkhart campus. So they're paying somebody over there $30,000. Oh, no, Elkhart guy ain't doing too bad, because that first column is the ministerial housing allowance. So they're paying a housing allowance of $30,380, but then a salary on top of that is $74,620. So I mean, you could probably live on that. But then the very last entry is XXX. don't got no name on it. It don't got no name on it. That's proper hillbilly redneck. And at the in the first column, which is housing, you will see $443,799. That's housing allowance. So that individual gets $443,799 in housing. And then the second column is regular. That's like how much money you actually get. And it's 1.168. It's $1,168,189. So there is $1 million rod salary. That's $1 million rod salary. How does $1 million rod get his 400,000 plus housing allowance and his $1.1 million salary? We just showed you. We just showed you. By buying plinkets and trinkets from Chisreel and rehashing all their stuff, and by sending out emails, and the cheap seats start off at $25 or more. The little bit better seats start off at $50 or more. And you just saw exactly how they do that. And you also saw, even from this presentation, that when they're pitching this, these wonderful special days of atonement and God's miracle anointed miracle season, he don't believe a word of that. He's just selling it. And this is how he sells it. That's what we know and over. Let me go back here. So if those numbers are hard to read, maybe this is easier to read. Thank you, Robin. And she's going to be with us next Thursday. But this is pie chart land. This makes it easier. So this is what World Harvest Church is really all about. You saw the numbers. This is what it looks like. In the top left, XXX. See, he don't believe in transparency. When the Apostle Paul says providing for things honest in the sight of all men, Rod Parsley doesn't believe that. Oh, and I got to say this. I just wrote myself a note. When Parsley does his different, like Dominion Camp meeting, for example, he'll have these different speakers. Now, he was really tight and cheap on budget, so he didn't have the big guns and the big names that could come in this year. But you're still very, very, very particular about the guest minister that you will have to take the offering. And how do they choose whether it's Tony Suarez or Medina Pullings or somebody else? Out of all these different speakers that come in, how do they decide who's going to be the one that takes the offering? Game tapes. Game tapes. What do you mean by that, ever? Well, we all know that football coaches will spend a lot of time looking at game tapes, looking at previous games. Well, because he hadn't played it, there ain't a tape of it yet, but looking at tapes of games from this season, past season, and of their opponents that they're up against. But that's not it. But here's what Parsley does. They will analyze the game tapes of previous years. Which speaker that took the offering was able to pull the most out of the crowd, and that's who's going to take the offering. That is who's going to take the offering. And folks, that is how that works. But getting back to the pie chart, you'll see that the top left, 20.7%, that's what Parsley takes from his, whatever you call that there in Canal Winchester. Elkhart, the salary part of that is 1.3. Now look at this one underneath there, HPS admin. This school, it's not a Christian school. It's a voucher school. They get all this, I forget what you call it. I want to call it Section 8 stuff, but I mean, it's like state of Ohio money that they get. And it's not a Christian school, but that does make them some money. And one of the ways it makes them some money is that you add up all the compensation of all the teachers and all the supervisory staff, it's 6.8% of that pie. Or no, that's admin. And then underneath that is the teachers. So between the teachers and admin, you're at about 24%, custodial 4%. So Parsley is standing up there and putting 1.5 million in his pocket, telling you how much he needs it to keep doing what he's doing. All right. I want to get out of here. I think we may be close to done. This is from the webpage of BBS, just a couple of slides. The guy there at the top, E. Dale Berkey, PhD. You see the other people there. And I could have put 11 or 12 screenshots in there like that. Leverage technology, because they have a little section like this for email marketing, for direct mail marketing, for just hold them up with a gun marketing. Just kidding. Leverage technology to fund your vision. The latest research is clear. More and more donors are giving via digital channels. So setting a strategy, having a partner to help you do your fundraising and marketing and the digital realm are essential. With us, you get a partner that will help you leverage. Okay, you get all that. So folks, this is just polishing off the very tip of the iceberg. And then I think I'm going to close on just a Vicki Yohey update. Why don't I just let this play? We'll have a couple of remarks at the end and we'll call it a night. Here we go.
David E. Taylor, JMMI, this face-to-face movement will continue to soar. God has his hand on it. But I want to make this video to let you know and let the world know that Apostle David E. Taylor, God has his hand on this ministry. My life is forever changed. It is not a cult. A cult? See, the religious people don't like this movement. But the people that are sick of religion love this movement because we want a move of God. We want God in our lives. And Jesus is appearing to us.
This is nothing. Look, trust me. If I felt it was a cult, I'd get on here and tell y'all it's not. This is where I met Jesus here physically. I saw him walk. Yes, physically. I see Jesus.
Tonight, I truly saw Jesus. This movement is for real, and I believe in it. And I'll fight for it. I'll stand up for it. I mean, you can't fake this stuff. This stuff is for real, and so I'm a part of this movement. When I pulled on the grounds today, I felt Jesus. His hand is all over you, and you are his mouthpiece. You are his voice to this generation. There's nothing fake or phony about it. Nothing. It's the real deal.
In August, I show up to this place I never heard of Apostle, face to face. Wow. Saw Muslims on the platform, a Hindu. You know, they read the book and saw Jesus, and now millions of people have saw Jesus. So you know what? You can't sit back there and deny it and say it's not for real. It's for real. And my life's changed. I'm going to say it again. I'm forever changed, and I'm all in. I'm a lifer with this movement. You know, well, somebody can say they're a lifer.
Yeah, their life has been changed.
Because, you know, there's some people that you know, they've come, they've been a problem, and they left.
Right.
Because they really, you know, they're weak people.
Right, exactly.
But when you can say you're a lifer, I think that's a whole new movement within this movement. I'm a lifer.
He's just in this room. I couldn't even stand up over here. He's in this room, so strong.
Yes, his presence.
I love his presence. And you move me so much because he's Apostle's such a worshiper, you know, and just
I'm about ready to throw up over that, but this woman that is doing this is having sex with this guy from the second time that she ever had a chance to be in his immediate presence. That woman is having sex with that guy, and she's telling you that she's calling him Apostle like it's a first name, and she's telling people she's defending the cult, she's preaching the cult. I saw Jesus, I saw him walking, and if you don't get it, you got this and you got that. And I am gonna play just one more clip. And I mean, honestly, I think that I've gone pretty. I think we've gone pretty easy on Vicki Yohey. Vicki has not apologized. She has not repented or apologized to any of this. And I'm only going to play about 10 seconds, and here we go.
I have heard stories of people that's talked against Apostle. They're not alive now.
I've heard stories of people that talked against Apostle and they're not alive anymore. So I don't want to spend much time on Vicki. But as I said last night, that world's coming crumbling down. And that world of $1 million rod and the millions of dollars of hoaxes and the trinkety plinkets and the whatnot, I believe God's doing a new thing. I believe God's opening our eyes. I believe God is awakening people. I believe that people are saying enough. We're not having it. Don't give these people any money. Don't give them your time. Don't give them your attention. Do not give them any money. And it's time for them to be called out. Rod, you are a greedy cult leader. And I'm just reiterating something I said almost 2 months ago. You are going to make history, Rod. You're going to go down as another typical cult leader. Never ends good for a cult leader. Or you can be the first cult leader in history to repent. That's never happened before. You can be the first one. But folks, tomorrow night, John Collins will be on the program. It's going to be quite a program. And so, yes, there are some legitimate people out there doing their best to serve the Lord. I believe that we're one of them. The Lord put us full time into this 3 months ago. We're still here. Oh, what a track record! We've been here 3 months. We're gonna be here. I think we're gonna have some big news to announce. I could almost tease at it tonight, but I'm gonna just hold off on that. But if you would like to support us, that's how we exist. We can't exist without your support. It's now easier than ever. You can go to ohioforfreedom.com. You can go to the donate page, and there's a Zelle link, a PayPal link. You can use any bank card that you got. Any bank card that you got. It's never been easier. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Zelle donors, I want to say thank you so much. We're figuring out how that works, because I always send a thank you to every donation that we get. I've not been able to do that with Zelle, but I think we're going to be able to crack that. But your support is certainly appreciated. So folks, we'll see you. Pretty exciting episode tomorrow night. And until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio, the United States of America. And God bless you wherever you may be on the Lord's wonderful big wide world. Good night, y'all.